What's up, guys? So we are in my backyard today because we're finally going to plant or transplant my veggie seedlings that I have. I'm super excited. So here is the garden bed, not finished. I thought I could attach that chicken wire to the top by myself, but turns out it's very hard and I can't, so I'm gonna wait for Rebel to come home. But the initial plan was to have a second bed here. As you can see, we're kind of doing some backyard renovation as well. That's my camera setup. So that's kind of just been disregarded for right now. So about the bed, really quick, I had a few questions on Instagram about the protective covering. So we have an insane amount of squirrels here. I believe somewhere around my block people feed the squirrels, and so there's peanut shells everywhere, but they get into literally everything. So we threw up this quick, very cheap, that's what I wanted, cheap and quick coverage for it. So it's not very sturdy. I mean, it does the job. Like, these are just 1x2s, and then we have the poultry wire. Not a very clean job, as you can see. I still have a little bit of cleanup to do. The top needs to go on. I kind of think I'm gonna leave these gaps just to see if it works, because honestly, working with this poultry wire is a pain in my ass and I don't want to ever do it again. I'm sure I will, but if I can get away with not adding on those strips, I am going to see how that works out. I'll show you how it opens real quick. It was not the initial plan. We thought about doing like a door right here, but it was just kind of a lot more effort for such a non-permanent thing that's gonna stay here, I guess. We're going to eventually attach a handle right here that we just haven't done so yet, but it just lifts. And that chicken wire is making me nervous. So this is what we're working with. I kind of think my seeds are a little small, or my seedlings, and I believe I know why. I initially waited too long to transplant from the initial sprouted seeds into bigger size containers like these, so that stunted their growth, as well as I think I should have transplanted this one more time into a bigger pot, and I didn't. So I kind of messed up there. Like, this one I picked up from, I think it was like Home Depot or Lowe's, and it's a Serrano. Those are other pepper seeds, and they're just very tiny compared, but it's okay. I think it'll still work out. Keep in mind, I don't fully know what I'm doing. I mean, I did do research, probably too much, and I kind of overwhelmed myself. So now I'm kind of at that point where whatever, I'm just gonna do it. I feel like people have gardened with a lot less and have still produced beautiful vegetables. I did pre-wet my soil. That was one thing that across the board you should do so your plants don't go into shock. So I think I decided my plan was the back side is going to be tomatoes. So I have these black crimsons and cherries. Those are the two that I have, and I have so many cherry tomatoes. I might put some in buckets, but I definitely don't have enough cages. I only have 3 right now. I'm gonna have to go pick up some more, or I might do some without cages to kind of like experiment and still prune, of course, but I don't know, we'll see. We're gonna start off with one of the black crimsons. I also don't have a hand shovel, so I definitely need one because this is a pain. So also, from what I've read, tomatoes you bury extremely deep, as deep as you can. So I'm probably gonna bury it right up to here, actually. Wow, my first little tomato. So I think for this one, I'm not gonna use a cage. I'm gonna kind of see how it goes without. And see, I can definitely tell I should have potted up because the roots are already tucked at the bottom, which is not good. And the underside of my leaves are turning a little purple. And from what I've read, that's either them getting too cold, which definitely was not my case, or some sort of nutrient problem, or needing to be upsized in the pot. So I'm guessing it was the upsizing, possibly the nutrient problem as well. But I do have a very rich nutrient rich soil, so I don't know if it was that as much as it was the needing to be potting up. So here we have some of my cherries. If you want to, I don't know if you can even tell the difference. This is a black crimson, this is a cherry. They look pretty similar when they're seedlings. I think I'm gonna do a cherry in that last space over there. And then I think the rest of the cherries I will be putting in 5-gallon buckets because I want to save the rest of the space for my peppers. I don't want this whole bed to end up being just a tomato bed, which ideally would be great if I had more than one, but we don't. So, hey, it got very bright out here. It was very overcast, but here we have, these are my jalapenos, my habaneros again. This is the one serrano that I bought. I didn't start my seeds in time, so I had to resort to buying one. So in my head, I had thought to like make a line of the habaneros and the serrano or the jalapenos, but I think now I'm gonna keep it kind of by chunks, so like a square and a square. I think that will be a little bit easier. Okay, so I think I'm I think I'm done. I changed my mind, so I made this whole row black crimson, and then these 4 are habaneros, and then those are jalapenos, and that's my one serrano that I bought from the store. I hope I spaced them out right. I was reading like 12-ish inches between each, and I kind of just guessed it. I don't want to overcrowd, so I definitely think I'm gonna leave it here, and then I'm going to put my cherry tomatoes in buckets. And then I bought lemongrass that I think I'm going to do in a bucket, 5-gallon buckets, which I'm super excited for because lemongrass tea is bomb. Now all that's left to do for the bed is mulch and water again, and then I will move on to the buckets. I'm just using a brown fine mulch. This is what my local place recommended to me. So that's all I can pretty much say about that. I think that is properly mulched. I try to keep it like a 1 to 2 inch layer of mulch so I don't lay it on too thick. If I need to add more later, I always can. And then I also try to keep circles around each one because I was reading that if you pile it up right along the plant, that's just gonna invite pests and stuff. So to keep like an inch circle around each plant. And now the most satisfying part, maybe, at least to me, I'm dying at the setup, first of all, because my phone was about to die, so I literally there's no outlet out here. So I have it plugged in right there, coming out here so that I can record because it was on like 4%. But, oh well, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So I have my bucket right here. These are my other 2. I probably will get more. I'm being kind of cheap right now, like Bala on a budget, gardening on a budget. All the renovation that we're doing in our backyard, we have 2 very large piles of dirt now, so I am doing about half with that dirt, which the dirt here is very clay-like, so on its own not great. And then I'm going to add in, fill the rest up with my actual garden bed soil, and then from there I will plant and then still do my layer mulch. Also, I'm an idiot and I forgot I got 2 serranos, not just 1. So 1 is gonna have to go in the bucket as well. I'm gonna have a lot of buckets. That's how I feel right now. Okay, so I have my poopy dirt in here, and then we are going to add the good dirt. And again, the dirt in here I moistened. Okay, so I am gonna leave a little bit of room for the mulch, and then we're going to pop out the lemongrass. I initially was planning on putting this in my bed, but to be honest, I kind of forgot when it actually came down to it. I'm just gonna pop that right in the middle. I did drill drainage holes into all of these gallons. That is definitely needed if you're doing any sort of bucket gardening. I just realized in my first bucket, I didn't even mix like the bottom layers of soil with the nice top layer, and you know, I don't know if it even matters. So we're gonna do it with this one. Okay, now I shouldn't say sad tomatoes. I mean, they're kind of, I feel bad. I neglected them, I did. Look at that, I should have repotted. But you know, what you gonna do about it now? Again, I'm gonna bury deep, so even though this one's like curved, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna bury it right up to here. Again, leaving a layer for mulch. Like I said, I only have 3 buckets right now. I have to go grab some more. Those are 2 cherry tomatoes mulched. The lemongrass, I honestly don't know if I was even supposed to mulch that, but you know I did. And again, the most satisfying part. Here comes Baxter. He's mad I'm watering, I don't know. There's Wilfred. There's Peaches, literally not even caring about the water. Oh my God. She's something. Okay. Okay, so some time has passed. I went to the store, I picked up a couple more buckets, cages, and then I did a lot back here. This obviously all needs to be cleaned up. Oh, there's the giant root. Look at that. That was right here. It took me so freaking long to get that out. Those things are so thick. And I initially had the first couple of those buckets placed here. And thank God I realized before I moved them all was that when this opens, that clearly was not going to work. So to clear out this whole area, super weedy. It still is like not 100% perfect, but it does the job. I have my cherry tomatoes back there. That also was one. My lemongrass and that serrano that I forgot about. I was concerned about the fence, planting too close to the fence because of the sun. The fence is going to block some of it in this area in the morning at least, which is why I initially did not want to plant there. So for now it's okay. I think I'm overthinking the whole sun situation. I tried my best to keep those lined up so that all these tomatoes here wouldn't be blocking the sun there. If anything, I can keep that one trimmed down. Anyway, we have them all mulched up. I think it looks okay. I'm working with what I have without having to really buy anything else. Also, it might not make sense as to why I covered all this and not these, but I am going to be putting individual chicken wire slips over each one. I am done for the day. Obviously I still need to finish that chicken wire on top. I'm hoping maybe I don't even need to get away with it. I'm gonna get to it at some point this week. But if you couldn't tell, and also from me saying it I'm sure a million times in the video, I did not really know what I was doing. I was kind of just winging it, especially with over there. Like this season I did not plan as well as I should have, and so everything was pretty quick put together, like scrambling. I'm especially nervous for how small my seedlings are when I transfer them. Whenever I see videos of people transplanting their seedlings, they're usually big, about the size of like that one that I purchased at Home Depot. So I'm hoping it'll be okay. Again, it's entirely my fault. I don't know how much this is gonna help anyone because it was just me kind of winging it. But if it does grow, if I get a luscious garden, it'll show that you don't have to do everything to the T exactly how things say. You don't have to be perfect, and you'll still get something in return, hopefully. If you watched my first video, I believe, of when I was talking about my garden and I was showing my seeds that I have started, you might notice, if you even remember, paid attention or watched that part, that I did not plant all that I had started. So I gave some away just because lack of another bed, and I didn't want 10,000 buckets. That's already a lot of buckets. I had a lot more tomato plants, gave those away. I had broccoli that I forgot about, but gave those away. I had, what else? Pumpkin, gave that away. I was sad because my pumpkins looked pretty good. Watermelon, same thing. I had sugar baby watermelon. I was really excited to see how that would grow out here, but lack of bed. If I had put watermelon or pumpkin in here, I would not have been able to fit nearly as many of my peppers and tomatoes. So I made the decision to plant what is going to be most practical to me in the end. All right, this is where I would love some advice, any advice regarding all of this. So yeah, any advice, tips, I am all ears. Comment, please. I would love it if you left me something that I could keep in mind regarding my garden. If not, I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you in my next video.